Let me crack this first. Oh.
It's fine. It doesn't matter.
All right. Here we go. Two guys in a Star Wars film in a library study lounge.
So before we get too far, I should explain the purpose of the commentary a bit. Well, we're recording this on the 15th, and this should be up by the 17th of November. And of course, this 17th of November, 2018, is going to be the 40th anniversary of the film we are actually here to watch, which is the Star Wars Holiday Special.
And consequently, that is also my birthday.
November 17th.
Yeah.
Seriously, your birthday's in 2 days?
I just blew his freaking mind.
Oh, now it's all the more special because you.
All right, Vikram. Don't let that slow you down, buddy.
You share a birthday with the worst thing ever made.
Is there swearing allowed on this?
Yeah, say whatever the fuck you want.
That kind of took me the wrong way, Vikram. I say this in the nicest way
I'm not
possible.
saying you're the worst thing ever made. I'm saying the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh, thank fucking God. Well, that's better. All right.
So it's 40th anniversary of the Holiday Special, and my hope, essentially, even though I'm very ill prepared, is that this commentary will serve a twofold purpose. One, which is to capture the reactions of someone who has essentially never seen the Holiday Special before.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah, that's you, Connor.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes. So apparently, you claim that I've apparently showed you a clip from this before.
Yes, Vikram has tried to. I'm trying to think of a word to describe it. I kind of want to use the word pillaged my mind with this.
Okay, I don't even know what that means or what you mean.
Like a scene. Like what I mean by pillage is. Have you guys seen Lord of the Rings episode 2? I don't know why I'm asking you. It's not like you guys
you
can
just
tell
call
me.
it episode 2.
Vikram, don't patronize me at the moment.
I haven't even watched Lord of the Rings.
Okay, everybody right now that's watching this, do not exit out right now because you're so angered by what Vikram just said.
I know it's called The Two Towers, not episode
Oh my God, stop talking, Vikram. You're going to lose people on this. Please, everyone. Vikram respects the Lord of the Rings, and he's just not been blessed enough to see them.
I tried watching the first Hobbit, and I got like a half hour into it and gave up.
Okay, Vikram has a lack of character in him right now, but we're working on that to build that.
We were explaining your essential lack of knowledge.
I've heard, people reference it before. Vikram showed me a clip. Honestly, I really don't know too much about it, other than there's a ship on a screen right now, and there's a planet, possibly Tatooine. I'm super anxious to watch it, Vikram, and as many times I've tried. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I forgot to ask you. Are you allergic to peanuts?
No.
Thank God. I'm eating a peanut butter cookie, guys. I'm sorry you can't see that, but I totally forgot to ask back Vikram before I asked. Okay. Sorry, let's keep going. Can I click the play button?
I just start gradually swelling up as the movie goes.
Holy crap, Vikram's throat is swelling right now. Vikram, are you sure you're not allergic? Oh my God, he can't even talk right now. He's just choking.
Yeah.
That was Vikram's attempt to choke.
Anyway, so Connor, you will be chiming in with your initial reactions to seeing this for the first time, and I will be chiming in, hopefully, with little fun facts about, because like I said, I hope this commentary serves a twofold purpose. One, to capture your initial reactions as a newcomer, and my insights from the years of my life I have wasted watching this film over and over and over again. And reading about it.
That's what my girlfriend says to me about watching football. That's ironic. Well, Vikram, we're in the same boat in a way. All right, Vikram, let's start this thing. I'm super anxious. I'm sure everybody's watching this video is super anxious. Let's get it. I'm going to actually press the button. Boom. Here we go.
So we open on, this is stock footage from the original movie.
Oh my God, guys. It's the Millennium Falcon. Oh my God, it's Chewie, Han, 2 idiot destroyers that don't know how to fly properly. Seems like there's... oh, wow. Boom. Oh, God. Oh, no. Han.
It's a very cheap-looking Millennium Falcon cockpit.
Okay.
But I remember even as a kid, I thought at least this stuff was kind of fascinating just to see new footage of, Han and Chewie in the Falcon. This, not from one of the original 3 movies.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's interesting.
The Star Wars Holiday Special.
Well, I immediately am turned off by what I just heard. Don't use Luke Skywalker's actor's name. Oh my God, guys! Chewbacca's family just was shown. Chewie's wife is not very attractive.
His father, Itchy.
Chewie's father looks like he got in a car accident.
Lumpy.
Chewie's son looks very adorable.
Oh, really?
With
Oh, yeah.
special guest
Okay.
star.
You'll have to tell me if you actually know who any of these special guest stars
I don't know
are.
who any of these two are
Okay.
so far.
Because here's the thing, I'm not sure that they were really even very special guest stars back in 1978.
Jefferson Starship.
I think they were kind of like
Well-
TV B-listers.
That guy looks very familiar.
Okay. Harvey Korman and Art Carney were fairly well-known comedians, and B. Arthur, of course, is now known for being a Golden Girl.
Okay.
The Star Wars Holiday Special is brought to you by
And then here we have just a blank slate where the local TV station could put in their, whoever their sponsor was. Because what we're watching is just the broadcast master, so no commercials.
Here we go. Chewie's
So here's
house.
some Ralph McQuarrie concept art. Ralph McQuarrie, of course, did the concept art for the original Star Wars.
Wartime Kashyyyk looks pretty nice. Oh well, Chewie's house looks pretty nice. It's
Yeah,
kind of,
you might be more familiar with the expanded Star Wars universe than I am. Aren't the Wookiees supposed to be like a slave race, basically?
well, yeah, a lot of it's been talked about how it was like a war-torn country and like a war-torn planet. I mean, and it was invaded, and a lot of Wookiees were put to slave over the period.
Uh-huh.
So I doubt it would be very peaceful.
You'd think if Grandpa Itchy were really so irritated by little Lumpy running around playing with his X-Wing, then he wouldn't be currently in the process of carving him another one.
Yeah, it seems very weird. Also, I just can't get how ugly he looks.
Yeah, very interesting jaw movements. So this would probably be a good time to discuss, I guess, the origins of how this came to be.
Oh, enlighten me, Vikram.
Well, basically, as much as George Lucas has tried to disown it over the years, I think, from what I can tell, the way it turned out was kind of his fault, because he came up with the initial outline of, okay, I want this TV special to focus on a Wookiee family, and of course the writers of the special, who were just TV writers from 1978, were like, well, how the hell are we supposed to tell a story where the characters don't speak, and we have to have other human characters come in and essentially translate for them? And so, to some extent, that's where the variety show elements came from.
Yes.
Because at the same time, I think they, CBS wanted it to be a variety show, but I think it also ended up being kind of a necessity, just because otherwise you'd be sitting here for 2 hours just watching the Wookiees growl at each other.
Well, yeah, and one thing I want to point out right now, sorry to kind of sidetrack, how dangerous what the son of Chewbacca is doing. If you guys just saw that, if we're kind of around the same time, you probably saw Chewbacca's son scaling their fence outside of their house, which below it is just like, probably looks like a couple-story drop.
It's another concept art by Ralph McQuarrie.
The concept art is pretty trash.
He's going to fall into the concept art.
He's going to fall into the concept art and die.
I don't know why I'm calling it concept art. It's in the final show. It's not a concept anymore. But are you enjoying the Wookiee noises, Connor?
No, I'm not. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
So the one interesting thing, as horrifying as these new Wookiee characters are, the interesting thing about them is that they were actually designed. Well, the initial design of the Wookiees was done by, again, Ralph McQuarrie. He did the concept art, but the actual Wookiee costumes were done by a guy named Stan Winston, who, if you don't know that name, he was a very big name. He went on to be a very big name in like makeup effects and like visual effects.
Okay.
Like he did a lot of work on Terminator and Jurassic Park and stuff like that.
Pretty major movies.
Yeah, so for this, he designed the Wookiee costumes, and there's an interview of him out there where he's actually talking about how, as much as we may not be enjoying watching this right now, he at least had a decent time working on it, because for him it was an opportunity to take what the guy who had done the Chewbacca costume for the movie had done and essentially try to improve on it by adding more like articulation to the face and doing that kind of stuff.
I was inspired by this makeup artist from London by the name of Stuart Freeborn. That same makeup artist created Chewbacca, which also was an articulated face, as when he opened his mouth, Peter Mayhew was the actor who played Chewbacca. He'd open his mouth and the lips would pull back, and there was this articulated face. There was going to be a Star Wars television special, and they wanted to have designed a family of Wookiees, Chewbacca's family. And Stuart Freeborn was not available because he was doing Superman, the movie. And they came to me because they know I had now articulated these faces, and asked me if I would create this family of Wookiees for the Star Wars special. And I was able to get the actual original Chewbacca head and look inside and see what Stuart Freeborn had done to create the lip movement on it. And I wanted to push it further so that they could actually be articulated by the mouths opening, they could have more expression.
Whoa.
Yes, we're watching the acrobat scene now.
And it is something else. Wow, she's really talented. And then we just have
I'm glad you're at least appreciating the acrobatics, because I think most people who watch this would just be so dumbfounded they couldn't even appreciate it on that level.
Yeah, probably this is really cool back in the day.
No, it really wasn't.
Okay, well, it's pretty garbage. So we got Chewie's son just walking over to dinner, being a typical bratty kid. Gotta wash up your fur.
Actually, I think she's telling him to wash the dishes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yep, dishes.
Only because I've seen this film approximately 100 times.
Wow. Oh, wow, look at their fancy MacBook, guys.
It's more like an Atari.
Wow, the technology that they had so many years ahead of us is just dumbfounding.
Yeah, well, this is our first of many uses of a screen in this, because of course pretty much I think all the variety elements in this special come from the Wookiees watching stuff on screens, because this slave race that lives in the trees has access to very advanced technologies.
This is basically where the Empire sends their like surplus electronics. They just give them to the Wookiees. They're like, oh man, we're up on these new MacBooks, guys. We can send our Ataris from the 70s back over to the Wookiee planet.
Anyway, here's Luke Skywalker. Remember him?
Maybe.
So there's a lot of rumor about. So I mean, just looking at Mark Hamill right now, do you think there's anything off or weird looking about him? Especially in the face area, do you think there's anything?
Oh, is this guy not Mark Hamill?
No, he is Mark Hamill. But the fact that you're even questioning it speaks to something, and that something is.
My God, he got shot in the face in a bar accident, and he had plastic surgery.
Close. Basically, the sort of popular story, which is part true and part not true, is that between the original Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, Mark Hamill was in, I think, like a car accident or a motorcycle accident that completely destroyed his face, and he basically got facial reconstructive surgery.
Wow.
And so a lot of people say, oh, that's why he gets attacked by the Wampa in Empire, and they have to put him in the back of the tank, and they've got like a thing on his face, because they wanted an in-story explanation for why Luke Skywalker doesn't quite look like himself anymore.
You know, I never realized it, but yeah, there is a notable difference in the face. But I kind of thought it was just like, kind of almost like kind of a battle scar, and like he looks older, he kind of looks different, you know, he's aging.
That would make sense, I guess.
But I think that your thing is more like
But here's
logical.
the thing, according to the people who worked on Empire, that was just a coincidence.
Huh.
That was not really the case.
Well,
And even more, the thing is, because Mark Hamill has only spoken very rarely about this accident that he was in, but according to him, or at least the more in-depth research people have tried looking into it, because it's really just kind of a popular myth, apparently the reality is the accident wasn't really that bad. And it wasn't like full-on reconstructive surgery. It was more like just a very minor thing. So apparently the real truth behind it all is just that Mark Hamill just does not age very well.
oh, whoa, whoa, guys, everybody, oh, shoot, it's an Empire guy. Oh, man. God, and then there's this asshole.
Sir, that's Art Carney. I know you call Art Carney an asshole.
Yes.
He's a comic legend who, for whatever reason, agreed to appear in this film.
Gotcha.
Actually, that's something I might as well mention, that the credited director for this special is a guy by the name of Steve Binder, who I guess is actually a pretty well-known TV guy. I think he directed like one of Elvis's comeback specials, that kind of thing. But he was not originally supposed to be the director for this. The original director, whose name I forget, was a UCLA film school buddy of George Lucas.
No kidding.
Yeah, and so either George Lucas got him involved or something, and so he came on to direct it, and he only directed 2 scenes before calling it quits and saying, "I'm out of here." And those 2 scenes were, I think, the Jefferson Starship musical sequence, which comes up later, and then the cantina sequence with B. Arthur singing.
Well, that should tell you right there. That guy had just too much of a musical interest.
So he shot those 2 scenes and then left. But what I've heard is that essentially, because Steve Binder has given interviews where he'll talk about when he was brought on to direct as a last-minute replacement for the other guy.
When I came in, which was to replace the original director, who I never met, the shooting script had already been signed off and approved. They were already into it, so I had no input whatsoever in changing anything. It was just a case of, I had 1.5 pounds of script that had to be shot. And when I walked on this set at Warner Brothers, instantly I realized one of their problems, and that was it had a permanent 4-wall set, which was really fantastic if you're shooting film. But here we were with multiple electronic cameras. Those days they didn't have the mobility that you guys have today. It was almost physically impossible for any director to get the equipment where it had to be. You're going to have to make that 4th wall open up so we can shoot outside the set and inside the set, but we could also, when we need reverse shots, we can put that wall back in and shoot, the opposite direction.
Huh.
So basically, part of the reason why the first guy might have left was because he was ill-prepared to work on a television production. Because again, he was a film school.
He had more of a
George
film
Lucas.
background, which
Yeah.
probably didn't help him. Oh, here's some more stock footage, everybody.
Yes, and this is at least interesting because it's deleted footage. This is not pulled directly from the original movie. This is actually...
If it means searching every household in the system.
Yeah, I don't know if they would be using the word household. I'm not a big fan.
That always struck me as very weird. Here, there are certain weird things that Darth Vader has sometimes said outside of the original 3 movies.
Yep, we're gonna just spend a couple billion credits knocking on every door we can find. We're gonna send a couple million stormtroopers to every planet to knock on doors, guys.
Yeah. Well, which is worse, Darth Vader saying household or saying be careful not to choke on your aspirations?
Oh, households. I don't know. I just hate households.
Okay. So Darth Vader saying the word household is worse than him making a pun.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I would say so.
I won't fight
You know,
with you.
everybody's gonna be punny sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess you kind of have to have a sense of humor when you're the most fucked up man in the galaxy.
Yeah, literally, no pun intended. Oh, here's something else that looks kind of dumb. Oh, look at this. This looks already really disappointing.
So this is Harvey Korman in drag.
Oh man, John Travolta.
What?
John Travolta played a woman, I think, in Hairspray.
I have no idea. I've never seen Hairspray. I'll have to add it to my list along with Lord of the Rings.
Stop bringing that up, Vikram. People are gonna get irritated that you haven't seen it.
The loin is very tasty and serves 4 nights.
Connor, the loin is very tasty.
Family has a hearty appetite.
I'm gonna have to run back and operate the Afghan manually. Stay on things here. Why do I always think that taking you home for Life Day is gonna be easy?
Did you say Mike Day?
Life Day.
Oh, I
Life
thought.
Day is a very important day, Connor.
Oh, I thought he said Mike Day, like for Mike's Hard Lemonade. And I was like, wow, they have Mike's Hard Lemonade there. Interesting. As I'm 26 minutes, 43 seconds in, I already hate it. And then you have this guy who I feel like is doing this as a desperate last acting career. I'm referring to the guy between the Wookiees right now. It's
Art Carney.
Art Carney is a guy that
You've really got it out for Art Carney so far.
Yeah, this guy looks like an
asshole.
alcoholic. This guy, if you told me this guy had didn't have a DUI, I'd be shocked. I would be shocked.
I'm just gonna look up real quick, like what did Art Carney do after this? Because obviously his prime was well before this. But wow. I mean, he went on to do plenty afterward. That I can't tell just looking at the titles if they were any good.
Anything notable? When did he die?
Muppets Take Manhattan. That's a good movie.
Garbage.
Oh.
Just kidding. Just trying to irritate
He
me.
died in 2003.
R.I.P. He died of a liver failure.
If it actually says that's how he died. Drugs and alcohol.
No kidding, guys. He died from drugs and alcohol.
There's a subsection for drugs and alcohol under death.
What did I tell you? How many DUIs does it say he had, Vikram?
He was an alcoholic by his late teens.
This is terrible to laugh at, but I think it's funny that I think he looks like an alcoholic.
Carney would later use barbiturates and amphetamines, as well as alcohol substitutes, and also tried psychotherapy and joined Alcoholics Anonymous to battle his addiction, which he said ran in the family. He finally found success with Antabuse and quit drinking during the filming of Harry and Tonto, which was in 1974. So he was not, according to Art Carney, he was not a drunk while filming this.
Yeah.
Speaking of this, the most important scene is about to happen.
Oh man, let's take a look at what's about to happen right here.
Are you entertained at the moment, Connor?
Is this? Oh, we got something coming at us. Oh man. What's something just went off stage?
I'm pretty sure with this sequence specifically, I've heard, because one of the writers on this was a guy named Bruce Valanche, who was a big TV writer at the time, and so he worked on this. And it's very interesting to hear him talk about it, because he kind of just talks about it very matter-of-factly, like, yeah, we made the Star Wars Holiday Special, and because these were the limitations and restraints we were working with, this was just the outcome. And specifically, I think I've heard him say in interviews that.
Okay, this is so hard to focus. I'll let you say Vikram and bouncing in between. This is.
You're gonna have to mentally bounce back and forth between the highly erotic scene happening on screen now and
This is
me
so
trying to
weird.
talk.
I'm uncomfortable watching this.
I'll tell you a secret.
Oh, she's about to tell us a secret, Vikram.
I'll tell you a secret. I find you adorable.
Oh, she finds him adorable. That's what every guy wants to hear. Friend zoned.
When you're an elderly hairy man, yes, it's a perfectly fine. See, if you had started this commentary by saying that Art Carney was adorable, not a fucking drunk, then you'd be fine right now. But anyway, so yeah, Bruce Valanche, I think, has specifically talked about this scene and how literally his and the other writers' thought process was just, well, okay, we're in this sci-fi territory, and the whole concept of the special is that they're watching these screens and there's different segments, and so Bruce Valanche has kind of phrased it like, of course your mind just goes to sex.
The idea, there's been an idea in science fiction for a long time of a helmet device that you wear that transmits fantasies into your brain. And of course, the first thing you think of is, I want an erotic fantasy. Of course, everybody wants an erotic fantasy. So we decided to kind of be a parody of the kind of softcore porn that was going on around then.
But what is this doing in a holiday special, Bruce?
Well, it's to appeal to all types.
Doesn't matter that it's a primetime family special.
But this is airing in what year did this air?
78.
Yeah, that blows my mind.
Yeah. Well, no,
oh my God, is this still going on in the background? She's still singing.
You know what? I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't hate this song.
I don't know why I despise you just telling me that, but
it's not bad. This and even the Jefferson Starship musical number later, they both go on too long, but they're not that bad.
So, comment in the chat if you think what Vikram just said at this point is too far and that he should take that back and you should go watch Lord of the Rings. Comment in the video. Comment in the below.
Itchy looks very satisfied here.
Oh my God, Vikram! I remember this scene now. I don't think he was like, you know, doing what you're thinking, but I think I know what
The
you're.
masturbation is only implied.
Yes.
Okay. I think because we were talking, we missed the bit where he explicitly starts like viscerally like growling in a very sexual way, but that happened. Anyway, more cameos to remind you that Star Wars is a thing.
Carrie, and the guy who plays C-3PO, the most unknown actor in the world.
Anthony Daniels. But yeah.
Oh shoot, guys, Empire's here. We got 2 stormtroopers out front. Oh, and an awkward ending. And that's it, guys. That was the ending to the holiday special.
They all died.
They all died. They were all murdered. That's more realistic what would happen.
Oh god. But anyway, apparently another interesting sort of trivia was that Carrie Fisher, so of course because she didn't remember being in the holiday special, essentially she had never seen the holiday special. And so George Lucas, back in like 2003, 2004, when the Star Wars movies were first coming out on DVD, said, Carrie Fisher, I will give you a copy of the Star Wars Holiday Special if you agree to appear on the commentary tracks for the commentary tracks we're doing for the original trilogy on DVD.
Okay.
So that's how they got her to do that. And then according to Carrie Fisher, she would take that copy of the holiday special that George Lucas gave her, and whenever she was throwing a party and it was going on too long and she needed people to leave, she would put it on. And it would clear a room very quickly.
Well, I can understand that. Like, you know, if I was drunk, I would not want to watch this. Even though right now, if I was intoxicated, which I am not, I'd probably get a lot more enjoyment out of this.
I said your identification.
Your identification?
I gotta say, I like this guy. Not Art Carney, but the Imperial guy. He's giving it his I don't know if he's giving it his all or if he's totally phoning it in, but whatever he's doing, I love it. He is quintessential Empire guy.
Well, I'm finishing up here. Why don't you boys take it easy, relax, put your feet up, and make yourself to home. Wookiee food isn't the greatest, but I'm sure that I can whip something up in the kitchen.
It's a very racist thing he just said.
I know, Wookiee food's not the best.
Mallow, you come in the kitchen to help me.
Oh my God, is this like the Lost Ark of the Covenant with Indiana Jones? This is gonna fry his brain. It'll be like when they open the Ark, and he's just like, oh, I'm melting.
You're thinking way too interesting for what this is.
I know. Sorry, I should keep thinking the mindset of this is garbage.
This is gonna be the musical number with Jefferson Starship.
Oh,
real
no. Oh, hell yeah, some rock and roll, though. I like that.
Yeah, again, another song that is really not that bad, other than its association with this film.
Oh, man, I'm going to freak out if John Bon Jovi pops up on the screen.
No. Spoilers. No.
Damn it.
Oh, we didn't even notice the very phallic nature of the microphone that the guy is using. Did you notice or no?
Let me see.
Well, I think the one shot where they kind of silhouette it and it looks really obvious has already happened. I don't think it's going to happen again. But
is it like, are you talking about penis?
Yeah.
Like it looks like a penis? Like,
yeah.
Are you sucking the big penis? Oh, yeah. Look at this glow penis he's got.
Well, it's almost, from that shot, it almost looked more like a little Darth Maul lightsaber. Because it glows on 2 ends.
Ever since you said something, all I can think about that he's sucking on a penis.
Okay.
Investigate the upper area. Check for any rebel material.
Investigate the upper area, Connor.
With the Alliance.
Phrasing.
Freudian phrasing.
God, I got a good item. That's it. I'm gone.
Anyway, we're about to watch a cartoon.
Well, I'm actually kind of excited for this part. Ooh, I'm already liking this. I'm also a big fan of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, so I like animated Star Wars.
Yeah, in fact, actually, the animation studio that made this little cartoon we're watching now were called Nelvana, and they went on to do 2 other whole Star Wars shows around like the 80s. One was called Star Wars Droids, about the misadventures of 3PO and R2.
Oh, really?
And another was called Ewoks, which is about the misadventures of the Ewoks.
Oh, really? So I'm already loving this because like this is actually like for the time frame, I feel like pretty good animation.
For what it is, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know, like I'm not an expert in history of animation.
I mean, the character models are sort of maligned here. Like, you know, we just got a very horrifying look at Mark Hamill's cartoon face.
Well, this guy with the orange mustache is something else.
I can't understand what Chewbacca's doing.
very creepy sex stuff is what he's doing with Han. Right now.
Yeah, looks a little weird.
So, do you know what the significance of this cartoon is? Why it's important to the Star Wars lore?
I am not familiar, Vikram. Do you want
It
to
is
enlighten
the
me?
introduction of Boba Fett.
No kidding.
Yeah, he shows up in this. And it was the first time he ever appeared in anything.
That is a really cool fact, actually. I'm excited that you told me that.
I wonder if anyone's upset over the fact that Luke is not flying an X-Wing.
I was just gonna say, if this is Luke in this, I'm gonna be blown away because this is a Y-wing, I think, if I'm correct.
Yeah, like a Y-wing or a B-wing or something.
Starlog update. Although Boba Fett quickly located the serum for the sleeping
We know it's the same serum because there's Upside Down Lady on it. Yes. But unfortunately, Han is not an Upside Down Lady in a bikini. He's just Han Solo.
I don't know.
I mean, Harrison Ford in a bikini, that might do it for somebody. You know.
Oh, that's classic Boba Fett.
The Star Wars Holiday Special will continue in a moment.
And by this point, I'm sure many people said, does it have to?
Yeah, I think this is the point, like, where you're just kind of like, well, this is a giant letdown, like, all regards.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reality of what must have happened in '78 was that, like, people don't even remember this because they watched 10 minutes of it and changed the channel.
Yeah, and I guess, like, because it was a TV series, it's not like a movie. They
It's
went
a TV
out,
movie.
well,
TV
yeah,
special.
but in a way, like, this never hit theaters.
Right.
Nobody had to go pay for it, really, like,
Yeah.
because at that time, everybody was just buying cable or using an antenna. So it's not like anybody really went out and was like, well, I'm going to spend like, $10 at the movie theater to go see this, or I'm going to spend $20 to buy the movie.
Sure.
So I think that's a big thing. Like, there's more of a disdain if you actually have to pay for it, really, out of pocket.
Sure. But that's interesting you mentioned the idea of having to pay for the holiday special, because I am a big proponent of, I think this does need to be officially released. So people can pay to watch it.
I don't know if you'll get a lot of people that want to pay to watch this.
See, I think this, on some level, needs to be preserved. Because, like, if I haven't made it clear yet, I mean, on the most morbid level possible, I love this.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did you say morbid level?
Because it's not a genuine love. It's so bad it's good kind of love.
Oh, like Sharknado.
Well, Sharknado is intentionally bad, but...
okay, so you like it because it's so bad and it's not intentionally bad.
Yeah. Well, and it's just such a singular oddity. I mean, it may really be the most fascinating thing ever made by a human, because it's like...
Interesting thought process on that.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's somebody said, let's take Star Wars, turn it into a TV special, turn it into a variety special, and one of the variety segments will be pornography, and another one will be Harvey Korman in drag, cooking, and it's, you know, I mean, it's just... What the fuck was happening in 1978?
Yeah, I think, like, you bring up an interesting point from our true, like, kind of Star Wars historian, or like kind of like somebody who has a passion beyond the story of the movies, more like, I think you do. I think that's a fair point to say, like, you like what the movie kind of like brings up in the history of the series. Sure. Oh, here's a side character.
Yes, here's Harvey Korman again for another very ill-advised skit. I think this right here might actually be the low light of the whole thing.
Really?
Yes. Because out of all the skits, it is the one where, like, it is most head-scratching and most unfunny. I mean, again, it's almost like enjoyable in a morbid way. He's like a glitchy robot.
I think
it's almost like he's a depressed robot, which is the angle I should have gone with.
Ah.
God, this is painful.
Circuit breaker.
Wow. Wow. I don't even know if I can watch anymore. Like, that was pretty garbage. This is Vikram, you're completely right. Like, this scene is like just incredibly hard to watch. It's like so boring and just dull and garbage acting.
I don't even know that it's garbage acting. It's just a bad skit.
Oh yeah,
It was just not funny. So what can a comedic actor do with something that's not funny?
Now, watch me closely.
I'd rather not. Oh my lord. I guess actually at this point Disney would own this.
Yeah, George Lucas.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they lost the broadcast master if one has even survived 40 years later.
Oh.
Because like I was saying earlier, I am an advocate for I think this should be released, and I wonder, because I don't actually know what the standards were for television back in 1978, like if things like this were just being shot on like cheap video, or if there are actual, because that looks like cheap video, like just that harsh transition right there from the stock footage from the original film to this, like that. I guess that kind of makes it clear that this is being shot on cheap video and not film.
Well,
so basically what we're looking at right now, I think is probably as good as it's ever going to look.
Well, yeah, and I think you're picking up on the subtle thing that's like, yeah, just like a thing to show, like, they struggle. They did not have probably a big production budget on this. There was probably a harsh timeline as well, is what I'm assuming. I don't know, but also to note, I love how they talk about how Tatooine sucks right there. Like how they're like, we bring you Tatooine, and we want to show you how much your life is better than this, so feel better.
It's literally, it's the Empire's propaganda.
Yeah.
You know, you think life under the Empire sucks on your planet, just look how bad it is on Tatooine. You should be thankful, asshole.
Well, I am certainly not going to get rich with customers like you.
Here's Harvey Korman once again. And B. Arthur.
Oh, I don't know still who any of these people are. Is this the alcoholic?
No, that's Art Carney. Art Carney only plays the one character in this. Harvey Korman plays like 4.
He was the person dressed in a drag.
The traitor. Well, no, Harvey Korman was in drag.
Oh.
No, Art Carney is the traitor who comes to their house.
Gotcha.
And ran the little shop where the Empire guy was.
Gotcha.
When I left here the other night, I felt something that I haven't felt in longer than I care to remember.
This.
I felt alive again.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just gonna get kind of weird and dirty.
I haven't felt this way since I watched Diane Carroll singing a holographic song. And she told me that she found me adorable.
Vikram, I would have loved to see you watch this for the first time. When was the first time you've seen this, Vikram? What age?
2007. So I guess I would have been like 11-ish.
So
11.
I can just imagine.
Because 2007 was when I first got a bootleg copy of this and watched it.
I can just
imagine.
imagine.
I probably... Well, no, the first time I saw it had to have been... Do you remember Google Video? Before Google bought YouTube, there was actually a platform called Google Video. And there was a copy of the holiday special up there, and I think that was everyone's go-to. Like when Riff Tracks did their commentary for the holiday special, that was the version that they synced it up to.
Well, this just got weird. I feel like Vikram, the first time Lil Vikram saw this, he was probably so excited after the end of it.
Well, I was excited before. I think at the end I wasn't excited. I was like...
More like, wow.
Yeah, because I was excited to see it as a kid, because, I mean, it fascinated me. Because, as a kid, I loved Star Wars, and here's this, like, hidden part of its history that is, like, shameful. Or like George Lucas, at least, treated it that way. And then I actually got to watch it, and like I even said at the beginning of the commentary, like, there are parts of it that are legitimately just interesting. Like, this is a thing with Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Chewbacca, all those characters, Princess Leia. And so it's like new footage of them from that time period. And so even though it's in the worst context possible, it's still kind of a treat to see. Now this is interesting that apparently the programming from Tatooine that they were watching on Kashyyyk was happening live.
Yeah.
So that means there are cameras in the cantina recording this.
Yeah,
so like B. Arthur was perfectly fine having the cameras record her awkward encounter with the elderly man who was hitting on her. She didn't say, please turn the cameras off, I'm so embarrassed. She was like, oh, Imperial propaganda, yeah, whatever, just keep filming.
Just keep filming.
I'm going to be totally honest with you, I don't hate this sequence either. Because it's nice to go back to the cantina. It's a cheap TV version of it.
But it's a classic.
The cantina?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, it's kind of a fun concept, you know, oh, there's an Imperial curfew and B. Arthur has to clear everyone at the bar, and as you'll see in a few seconds here, she ultimately does it through song. Like I guess what I'm saying is that out of all the skits, it's like this one and the cartoon are probably the two that come closest to actually being decent ideas.
Yeah, well, I like the cartoon. This one's a little hard for me, but we'll see how this progresses.
Now, Torque, I don't want any more trouble. If you take care of the door.
That bouncer is kind of shitty at his job. He could have just murdered B. Arthur right there.
Yeah, I know. Oh, everybody wants more drinks, even now the bar's closed, guys. Come on, get the fuck out. And at this point, you know, we're at, 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 29 seconds.
No, we've only been watching for a minute.
Oh my god, Vikram, I'm sorry. I would sprint out of this room faster than anything.
See, I think this is kind of fun. Or again, it's a decent idea.
Yeah.
For what it is. I mean, should it be in a Star Wars? No.
This would be on Vikram's highlight reel. And
yes, the sad scene or moment where B. Arthur has to say goodbye to all her bar patrons.
I know, she's losing out on a lot of money. I don't think any of those people tipped her. Or, God, how many people paid their tab? I didn't see her collect
Everybody
any.
has a running tab at the Star Wars Cantina.
Yeah. They make their money. Oh, wow. Okay, this is creepy. This guy is turning into a stalker.
Yeah.
They're displaying how Tatooine has a stalker.
They're cutting away right now because we don't want to know what he's about to do.
I think they might have a stalker problem.
He's gonna put something in her drink.
Oh god. Oh, nice antenna on your thing. I'm glad to see they're still using antennas.
You, stay here. There's a male missing from this household, and I want you to be here when he returns. It's possible he's one of the rebels we're looking for.
This was the guy that didn't make the cut for the first movie to be an Imperial actor.
Yeah, he's almost kind of channeling like a cheap imitation of Peter Cushing.
Yeah. It was Peter Cushing's apprentice, or what do they call him in the play when you work on? You didn't get the main part. You're the backup.
Understudy.
Understudy. He's basically Peter Cushing's understudy.
Okay.
Because Peter Cushing was so big after this that they couldn't get him for this, so they had to use the understudy.
You understand the height of Peter Cushing's career was long before Star Wars, right?
But Vikram, you're not understanding the lowness of the budget here.
Okay.
They literally had to pay that guy a hot dog. They literally told him you can hit up the craft service table as much as
craft services is your pay.
Yeah, craft services will stick you in Peter Cushing's trailer that he had. You can be in there for 10 minutes. And we'll pay you $10 and give you a gift card to Pizza Hut. Oh, fuck. Oh, Chewie's about to mess him up, Chewie. Mess him up. Alright. Chewie is cornered by the stormtrooper. Wow, Chewie is way taller than this guy. Oh, there's
Well,
Han.
yeah, he's a tall guy.
Oh, here's Han. Here's Han. Here's what Han goes up. He stabs the stormtrooper right here. Oh my god. If you're not watching... Wow, that stormtrooper definitely didn't make it. See, again, this is why Itchy shouldn't be
the matte painting.
I mean, not Itchy. This is why Chewie's son shouldn't be allowed on the balcony by himself without supervision.
Yes.
Look, that guy just died. The stormtrooper just died because he fell.
Anyway, the romantic reunion, maybe? Oh, I forgot to mention too, the cast members who are underneath all these Wookiee costumes. Because, of course, Chewbacca is played by Peter Mayhew.
Yes.
But his wife, his beloved wife in this special is played by a man.
Oh,
because that
progressive.
Because that was the only tall person they could find to shove in the costume.
Wow, they couldn't go down the street to USC and find a women's basketball player that wanted to make it big in acting?
Absolutely, yeah. And then the little son is actually played by a little girl.
Oh, I kind of like that.
And apparently, according to Peter Mayhew, I don't know how true this is, but there's a video of him talking about the holiday special. According to him, the guy playing the grandfather was like a 19-year-old.
You know what, I don't know why that makes me not like this a little bit more.
Well, it's like they all have horrible identity issues.
Oh man, Chewie reminds me right now of that drug dealer that's so paranoid because he's making drugs, so he always carries around a gun and brings it to the...
way the camera is like handheld right now, it's like like it's like, yeah, paranoid druggie.
Calling Officer B4711. Officer B4711.
That's the guy who fell off the mountain.
You on your comm link. Is there a problem?
Yes, I fell off.
Would they really? Because we already established that when this guy makes an announcement, it goes out to the entire galaxy. So
yeah,
do
so
we
would they
need to
really
put out
care about one
missing guy? Yeah, the whole galaxy needs to know this one guy on Kashyyyk went missing.
Yeah.
And I think you missed it too, or we were talking over it, but in this special they actually call it Kazook.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because nobody knew what they were doing. This was all, brand new stuff. It's like the guy in the original Star Wars who calls Princess Leia Princess Leia.
An analysis of the plans provided by Princess Leia has demonstrated a weakness in the battle station.
Well, you know what's interesting to me? How they call out for him. In Rogue One, when the Death Star is above Scarif, how it just they're fighting on there and they get the plans. And the Death Star they just cut their losses and blow the planet up.
The base.
Yeah. So basically, how many stormtroopers are actually still there fighting? Probably a couple hundred stormtroopers are still on the ground trying to fight, or Imperial personnel trying to fight.
Oh, you're saying it's inconsistent that in the holiday special they care so much about one guy, and then in Rogue One they're willing to
kill a couple hundred. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as which takes the priority with Star Wars continuity, I would have to say it's this. The holiday special takes a higher priority.
Oh yeah, and it's more realistic too. This is how realistic.
I realize I'm only half joking because as much as Disney wants to pretend this doesn't exist, I mean, everyone's there. Luke, Han, Leia, everyone's there. This happened. Disney, I'm sorry. They're going to celebrate Life Day now.
Oh, Life Day!
Remember Life Day?
Everybody, let's break out our Life Day celebration kits to end this video. Everybody, break out your Life Day celebration kits. Let's go along with them.
What is in a Life Day celebration kit?
Oh, are they not lighting bongs?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna put mine away. Okay, sorry about that.
That bong you just put away sounded oddly like a plastic water bong.
It's like one of those makeshift ones, Gatorade bottles.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this just got cultish.
Yes.
It's kind of like a cult. But I say that and I regret it because I kind of think this reminds me of a religious ceremony. Wow, what the heck is going on right now?
They're walking into
heaven.
Yes, they all died. Oh, it's also worth noting we mentioned Anthony Daniels previously, and he is actually in the 3PO costume right now, but the guy who's normally in the R2 costume, Kenny Baker, is not present.
Oh, really?
For this whole special, R2 is completely remote controlled.
So more of a point to again, the struggle they had to bring everyone in, get everybody from the first episode.
I think though of all the Star Wars cast members who they wouldn't be able to get, I think Kenny Baker would not be it. I think Kenny Baker would have been the first to say, "Please hire me." Please
because if you think about Star Wars movies, they're famous for getting non-traditional actors.
Or unknowns.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, not non-traditional, unknown actors. If you think
about non-traditional actor is how you would gently tell someone they suck at acting.
This is mean, but sports players that turn actor.
Sure, yeah.
A good one is a classic film example is Dan Marino.
No idea.
Famous Miami Dolphins quarterback, and he would be an actor. I think
Princess Leia. Stop talking about football. Princess Leia is singing.
Wow, you can just tell how much cocaine she's on right now by the way her eyes are dilated.
I mean, Carrie Fisher is a good singer,
Yeah.
I think she did some singing before she got into acting, because of course she was from a showbiz family. Her mom was Debbie Reynolds.
Yeah.
And her dad was a singer named, I think, Eddie Fisher.
Wow, nice close up on Chewie. I like that. That's intense.
And now, because home video was not a thing in 1978, here's some, your reward for sitting through this dog shit is, here is your reminder of a much better film.
Oh, really, though? R.I.P.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, rest in peace. One of the best characters.
Yeah, Alec Guinness wasn't even really dead at the time, but just R.I.P. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
R.I.P. 2 stormtroopers that died on the Death Star.
Well, no, that was Luke and Han.
Oh yeah, I'm an
You
idiot.
don't remember Star Wars.
Wow, everybody's gonna just stop watching this video right there from what I just said, not knowing that. Well, wow. So, oh, that wasn't even the ending.
Well, I'll let you, spoiler, this is the very last scene.
Oh, here we go.
We're almost there, Connor.
You know,
We're
this
on
is
the
really
home
getting me in the
stretch.
holiday spirits.
Yeah, literally, this is the only shot in the whole movie where I'm like, oh, it's the holidays.
Yeah, I know. Doesn't that give a very holiday feel? And it's funny that this came out in November. This is something I would have thought would have
Yeah,
came
it's
out in
more of a
December.
Thanksgiving special.
Yeah, like I don't get a Christmas vibe until that very last scene.
Sure. And Chewbacca's enjoying
Oh.
a nice moment with his family that will never again be acknowledged.
Yeah. Again,
In
he's
fact,
kind of.
I remember watching watching The Force Awakens. There's the bit where they go to Maz Kanata's castle.
Yes.
And she's like, "Where's my boyfriend, Chewbacca?" And I'm like, "He's married, bitch. Leave him alone." But Disney.
I
wants
could
to-
totally imagine Maz being like, you know, she just being like, well, that's not gonna stop me.
Sure. We can pretend like Maz Kanata is actually a character, and that we can speculate as to things she would do.
Wow.
But she was horribly underwritten, and no one cares.
Wow, blown away, everybody. Would be curious, rate this movie 1 out of 5. Comment your rating in the bottom. I'm just curious. No hard feelings either way. But I don't know. Like it's again, I loved it. Like there were parts that were good. Like I very much enjoyed the animated part.
Unironically, I would give it a 5 out of 5 just for the historical value.
Oh my god.
Because
I would give it a.
Everyone else is just going to give it a 1 out of 5.
Well, I was going to give it a 2.
That's shocking, but okay.
Oh, you're the point you make at the end. The point you made was like, it's like a Sharknado in a way. I related to Sharknado, but like, it was not
A better
intentional.
comparison would be like The Room or Plan 9 from Outer Space, something like that.
Well, yeah, basically it was not intentionally bad, but it was like they didn't try to make the movie so bad, but it was just so bad that it was funny. In some cases, and like again, I actually really like the animated part. I don't know, huge Star Wars: The Clone Wars fan.
The Clothes Wars.
Yeah, have you not seen that special? Well, Vikram, thanks for showing me this awesome.
Yeah, first time watching holiday special. What do you think?
You know, it's pretty crazy to me the way you kind of line up the timeline to this, like with episode 4 of this following it, and then episode 5.
Sure. Yeah. Well, this was approximately my 101st time seeing this, because when I was a kid, I would watch this a lot.
Really?
Just because I was so like in awe of it in the worst way.
Well, thank you everybody for watching. I hope
or listening. I really don't know what this is going to be. By the
Yeah.
time I edit it.
Sorry.
honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me, Connor.
Thank you for having me, Vikram.
Yes. Goodbye.
Goodbye and good night.